You are listening to Christian Audio's production of The Boy Born Dead, a story of friendship, courage, and triumph, by David Ring, with John Driver and David Wideman. This book is read by Paul Michael. This audio recording was produced in 2015 by Christian Audio, which owns the copyright. No portion of this recording may be reproduced for any reason without prior written consent from Christian Audio. This edition issued by contractual arrangement with Baker Publishing Group, originally published in English as The Boy Born Dead, a story of friendship, courage, and triumph. Copyright 2015 by David Ring with John Driver and David Wideman. All rights reserved. Please visit christianaudio.com, facebook.com/christianaudio, or twitter.com/christianaudio to offer your impressions of this work and to explore additional titles. Forward. Life isn't fair. It is a phrase we begin to hear sometime in our early childhood. Well, hopefully we hear it, because regardless of whether or not we do, it is an inescapable truth. Storms come, dishes break, people face hardship. Whether we avoid thinking about it or declare it to be the greatest injustice, fairness is simply not a feature of the world we currently live in. I suppose this reality is the truest essence of any story, what we do with the unfair things in life. If you think about it, that is also the essence of the story of our own nation, even from its earliest toddlerhood. The colonial patriots were, in fact, rebels against something unfair and unjust. Sharing a common birthplace and a common language, they refused to share a common king with their cousins across the ocean. They became courageously uncommon in the midst of cultural commonalities, not content to let the unfairness of taxation or representation become a very blunt period at the end of a very brief sentence. Because of how they faced their particular unfairness, they had a story to tell. The story that follows is also a rebel's tale. And much like the diversity of stories and lore that swirl about our nation's founders and the events surrounding their fight against the unfairness, the essential heart of this narrative and its details are steeped in truth. That is what makes it more than just a story. That is what makes it alive. I can most certainly promise you that the words to follow are more than you probably think they are, and vastly so. I know this to be true because it was a significantly more compelling narrative than I had anticipated, and I've known David Ring since the 1970s, when I first heard him share his incredible testimony on television. I later met him on several occasions, during various conferences and events. It was early on in our friendship that I learned what you will soon learn as well. Very few people can speak to adversity and overcoming obstacles with greater authority than David can. I, like millions of others around the globe, have never heard him speak without being blown away by the power of his message and the clarity of his life story. But as this book will prove, there is so much more to the story than I thought I knew. To listen to David Ring speak is one thing, and that thing itself should not be quickly passed by. David has cerebral palsy, and his delivery of words can, at first, be painful both in the delivery and the listening. Yet I have never seen a person in his hearing who does not quickly move from endurance to emotion to energy. Why? Because they are forced to face unfairness in a way they never have before, and witness firsthand a courageous mutiny from one of its most ravaged victims. They see that David Ring refuses to remain a victim despite all the immensely valid reasons he has to do so. Yet despite this most amazing interaction that occurs between stuttering speaker and unsuspecting listener, the full scope of David's story has never been told. Until now.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?